Do you have start MMA at a young age if you want to become pro and get into UFC? No, not at all. No, not at all. Especially if you're talented, if you're a very athletic human being, you could have never done MMA, but you're very athletic. You did other sports. You played soccer, you played football, you played rugby, or you swam, or you did track and field. You're very athletic, and you go into MMA. You could have a lot more success than somebody who started really young. Okay, now it has a lot to do with your potential. Okay, so it all depends on your potential, your athleticism, and of course there are other components like how tough are you. I've seen guys who are very athletic, but once they get hit, boom, they just break. They just get the thought of getting hit again is just so scary that they just shut off. I like running. I think running is a great exercise. More sprinting. Okay, so I rather use the word sprinting. I'm not a big believer in long runs for MMA. I'm not a big believer in that. I think a little bit of it is okay, but like running every day, like boxers do and all that, I don't find it's conducive to wrestling. I like sprints and all sorts of sprints: shuttle running, 400 meters, 100-meter type sprints. There's all sorts of ways to organize your running routine. I think running is very important. Yes, but when I say running, to be specific, I mean sprinting. Okay, so keep that in mind. I think you got to train every day at least one time. Now, some people, a lot of pros do 2 a days. I think you need to do at least one training a day, 5 to 6 days a week to get to the pro level. Now, I'm not saying you're going to be world champion. I'm not saying you're going to be in the top 15. But if you want to get to the pro level, like a local circuit, like a regional show, I should say, excuse me, you should be training once a day, 5 to 6 days a week. Like if you want to win a fight at that level, at the very least. I understand you're probably off an injury and it kind of broke the momentum you have. You had that momentum and you were kind of like on fire, and then you get injured and it kind of kills that. You got to build back slow. Don't go back to what you were doing. If you were rolling 5, 6, 7 rounds a night, don't go back to that. Come back 2 rounds. Next day, come back, do 2 rounds. When you feel right, do three, and just build that momentum. Let it snowball. Keep that image in your mind, the snowball, and you'll get back to where you were. Don't worry, it's in there. Your skills are still there. The mind is an incredible thing. It will rewire itself. It'll remember what you need to do. However, give the body the time it needs to adapt, and you'll get back to where you were and better. How do you tell somebody that you don't want to roll with them? If they are overly rough or uncoordinated, I don't want injury. Stefan, I really recommend you just be honest. Say, man, somebody asked me to roll with them. I say, no, no, thanks, man. Honestly, I feel like we go too rough. When me and you roll, we have like a bad chemistry. That's it. Maybe next week. Maybe next week. That's it. There's some guys I don't roll with because when I roll with them, they scratch me. They go wild. And I just tell them straight up, dude, sorry, man. Like me and you, bad mix, bad mix. It's gonna turn into a street fight. Just super honest, nice, polite about it. Sorry, man. Maybe next week. Try me again next week. And then I'll give him a second chance and a third chance. Don't be the kind of guy who doesn't give people a second chance. Maybe you've had a bad roll and somebody was on the receiving end. Try to be polite. Try to be friendly. However, there are some people I know. I hear you loud and clear. Some people are just too rough. Like you're rolling with them, and it's like their life is on the line. So I totally understand you. Just be honest. Be totally honest with them.